Now, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
8:07 on the Morning Majority, talking to our friend Byron York of the Washington Examiner. How's it going, Byron?
Good morning, Mary Catherine. Going great here in Des Moines.
All right, still in Des Moines. What you doing there? Is it like ghost town?
It is. One night it is the center of the universe, and the next night it is empty. Stayed here to do some follow-ups, and actually ended up being here for Michelle Obama bowing out.
That makes sense.
Michelle Bachmann bowing out of the race. Ouch.
Very nice.
By the way, where do her votes go?
Well, I think a lot of them go to Rick Santorum. I mean, if you remember, very early on in the race, after she won the Ames, Iowa straw poll, the high point of her campaign, she got kind of stepped on the next day by Rick Perry, who jumped in the race, and they were competing for the same people, and Santorum is in that same group. So my guess is, given his momentum, Bachmann supporters go to Santorum.
There's a brand new poll out that says that he's doing double digits, went from 3 to 11% virtually overnight in New Hampshire, and he raised $1 million in one day. So should we start taking Santorum more seriously?
You should certainly take him seriously in New Hampshire. I mean, this is a point he's been trying to make, because he spent so much time in Iowa. Some observers thought, well, he's only been in Iowa, which is not the case. He's correct when he says, look, I have been in New Hampshire more often than anybody except John Huntsman, who moved there. So he's actually spent a good deal of time in New Hampshire, and he's also spent a fair amount of time in South Carolina. So, yeah, I would take him seriously in both places. What
does he have on the ground in those two places in terms of at least volunteers? I've read that he has perhaps over 100 volunteers in place in New Hampshire. Is there a chance that this money can get really translated quickly into staff and help?
Well, he doesn't have much time.
No.
It's Tuesday coming up. So yeah, he's gonna hire some people, and he's gonna run some ads. That's the thing that he has not been able to do, is run any ads. And he now has a little money himself, and he also has a super PAC that's raising money on his behalf that he allegedly doesn't control, just like Romney doesn't control his super PAC. So you're going to see more of Santorum. And the other thing, the big thing, is he gets all the paid media. I mean, I was with Santorum in Iowa for a week in November, and then for a week in early December, and like we were alone. I mean, no other press was there. Now the press is with him. He's it's treated almost like a two-man race, him and Romney. So he's getting all the free media that he wasn't getting in the past.
This time it's personal with Newt Gingrich when it comes to Mitt Romney.
No kidding.
You've been around a lot of campaigns. How bad is it, and where will Newt go with these attack ads, and are we expecting some fireworks at the next debate?
Absolutely. It's pretty bad. I mean, Gingrich appears to be pretty mad and pretty determined to do to show contrast, as they say, with Mitt Romney. I mean, the mystery of the Iowa campaign was why nobody launched a barrage of attack ads against Mitt Romney. We saw how effective they were against Newt Gingrich, just an assault of attack ads against Gingrich launched by the pro-Romney super PAC, and also by Ron Paul. They just crippled Gingrich in Iowa. And the question was, they work. Gingrich had a lot of baggage to attack. Well, Romney has a lot of baggage to attack. Why didn't somebody attack him in Iowa? Not everybody had the money to do it. Rick Perry certainly had the money to do it. And the answer is, all the other guys thought of themselves as fighting for second place. It's like they were fighting amongst themselves for the right to challenge Romney later. Well, now is later, and they realize they need to hit Romney. They should have hit him earlier. They're going to do it now.
Let me ask you about the Romney campaign. It seems to me McCain, of course, endorsed him yesterday, but back in 2008, there was famously bad blood between the two campaigns. They just really did not seem to like each other on stage. And then, in addition, a lot of the other candidates on the stage didn't seem to like Romney very much. To me, he seems like a basically sort of likable dude, but he does create this sort of Newt anger that we're seeing right now. Is that something about Romney or the campaign, or is it just he's got a lot of money and a lot of ads?
Well, I think it's probably the latter, but you're right. In 07, 08, there was bad blood not only between Romney and McCain, but between Romney and Huckabee. I mean, they did not like each other. So you have this situation now with Gingrich. And, Gingrich, I mean, there's a couple of things going on with Gingrich. One, his level of naivete is kind of amazing. I mean, at one point he said, I thought these guys were my friends. Wait a minute, you're in a political campaign. On the other hand, Romney has been very disingenuous about all of these ads that are run on his behalf. When Gingrich said, why don't you just condemn these ads and say you wish they could stop? And Romney would say, oh, no, I can't do that. That would be illegal. I'm absolutely forbidden from coordinating in any way. And a bunch of campaign experts came out and said, no, that's not true. Nothing prevents Romney from saying, look, these are bad ads. I don't support them. I wish they weren't running. And then so Romney came out the next day and said, well, I'm sure I could say stop the negativity, but hey, this is politics. And that's the correct answer. It is politics. It's rough. And Gingrich has been roughed up and is pretty angry about it.
Can I know you're in Des Moines and you may not be completely up to speed, but I'm just on a totally different topic. This decision by the president yesterday to appoint 3 members of the NLRB and a man to a new bureau that will look over financial protection issues without the consent of the Senate. He called it a recess appointment, but of course the Senate really wasn't in recess. Do you think this has the potential to be a big deal? I mean, it bothers me a great deal, but does it catch on with the American people?
It does, and it has, more importantly, it has not just the potential, but it will guarantee to unite the Republican Party. I mean, Susan Collins and Jim DeMint don't agree on everything as kind of the left and right wings of the Republican Party in the Senate, but I'll tell you, they are going to be arm in arm on this one. This is something that Republicans are absolutely opposed to, and so to have the president do this, especially, concerning both entities, this new consumer group and also the NLRB. After what happened with Boeing in South Carolina, for the president to do this with the NLRB in an election year, obviously, with organized labor so important to his reelection effort, Republicans are going to be absolutely 100% united against this.
All right, Byron. Great to talk to you as always. I'm sure you're going to be in New Hampshire and South Carolina, so safe travels, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Great to be here, guys.